You should mute us so we
Hello,
don't overtalk.
hello, good afternoon. I am Malia Holleran, and I want to welcome you to our very first Inspiration Station TV. I am so excited to be here, and I am so grateful that you are here. And I want to welcome you all to this amazing, momentous occasion. It's just a time where we get together and inspire each other by our stories to be better and to live better lives. So first I want to introduce the panel of amazing women that we have here today. Starting to my left, I have Linda West. Linda, introduce yourself.
Hi, Linda West with Alms Productions. I am so excited, as you couldn't tell, to be here today with you guys. And I'm just excited to see what we have in store for ourselves, right? Everybody. But thank you so much.
Yeah, Lori.
Hi, everyone. This is Lori Beltran. I am a financial advisor with Modern Woodman. I'm also the founder of Connection Business Networking, and I am so excited to be able to share, embrace some of the stories and challenges that we go through as not only moms, wives, mothers, but as business owners so that we can kind of help each other. And some of us are more mature than others, so why reinvent the wheel? So I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Lori. And today we have a very special guest panelist, Amanda. Amanda, introduce yourself.
Hi everyone. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. So, hi everyone. Amanda DeConing with Cortisor and Ohms Productions. I'm really excited to be here, and this is my first webinar here, and I'm very excited for what you ladies have in store for us.
Thank you, Amanda. So a couple of things. Some of you may be new to this platform. On the right side, you have a chat. So if you, I'm sorry, on the left side of your screen, there will be an icon where you can open up the chat window that will appear on your right side. So you guys can, the attendees here, you guys can chat, interact, you can say hi, introduce yourselves, and things like that. So if you see that icon on the left side, it's just a little chat icon, click there, it'll open up a chat on your right side, and you will see some conversation going on there. And there's also a tad bit of a delay. So if you say something in the chat to one of us and we don't respond, it's because we are a little bit ahead of you. So just be patient. If you have questions, you can raise your hand, or you can post it in the Q&A, which is the Q&A is again on the left side of your screen. I have enabled the Q&A, so you're welcome to ask any questions throughout the show, or when we call for questions, go ahead and post them in the Q&A. This way they're confidential, we can field questions and make sure that we answer and see all of the questions that you are asking. Okay. Anything else? Can you guys think of anything else to cover before we get started?
No, but I can see that Mindy is really anxious because her hand is already up.
I don't.
Which one's the music
Mindy's
turn?
asking about music. I don't hear music.
I don't hear music either.
So Mindy, you may have a window open on your computer that has music on it, but I don't hear any music or any background noise coming from any of us. Right? No one hears music?
No.
I don't.
No.
Okay. Perfect. So
I'd like some music.
no, we can sing.
Maybe turn your music up so we can hear it.
Okay, so Inspiration Station, I'm going to actually tell you guys about how this came about and what it is. So Linda, or just I think it's kind of a culmination of ideas that we all had and maybe just kept thinking, and never really said it out loud, just that we wanted to have a place where we could go to encourage and inspire people, because we kind of all do that on our pages anyways, but just a place where we can come together and provide, for other people. Because I don't know about you, but when I work from home, and sometimes it can be challenging because it's lonely. Like, you don't have the person in the desk next to you, or you don't have anybody telling you what to do when you show up for work at 8 o'clock in the morning. And I think just the nature of being a business owner um, requires some type of, inspiration, and for me, at least, as a business owner. But the thing is that this isn't just about business. And so we all have different perspectives, which is absolutely incredible, because, you know, no matter where you are in business or in life, we hope to provide inspiration for us and for you guys to move forward, so that we as a group can move forward and continue to do amazing things in our lives. Linda, Lori, what do you have to say about this?
I'll
I'll let
start. I was noticing too, the same as like you just said, Milia, is that I was noticing that a lot of people were inspired by the things that were being posted, and I thought, what better team than to team up with Malia and Lori, the two women who really inspire me so much to just do better in my life as a person as well as in my business. And so I was hoping that you guys would think that that would be a fun idea and something that we would do, and I'm so glad we're doing this. And we're doing it as a pay it forward. We're not doing this as a paid type thing. And I think that's one of the things that we all offer, is we love to give back. Lori?
Absolutely, Linda. That's been my motto forever and ever, and I think that coming from a place of scarcity, growing up and not having, just like many of you, I wanted to give back to not only women, because women are my passion, but just as human beings. I figured the more we give, the more we get, and it doesn't necessarily always have to do with money. And so I know, starting out as a young puppy, I call myself a puppy, you don't have a lot of resources, you don't have a lot of money. And so I wanted this platform to be given freely, so that those that don't have the resources to, afford counseling or a coach, or, going to wherever they might have to, with all our experiences between what we've been through, where we came from, and where we're going, I felt like we could really benefit those that wanted to join our inspiration station. Woo, woo.
That's right.
So,
The train's leaving.
Awesome. And I'm so excited that we have Amanda here, because I think for each of us, one thing that has been very impactful, whether we are the participant or the observer, is the hot seat. And being able to share about what's going on in your life, um, without feeling criticized, but just in a way, and it doesn't have to necessarily be bad things or anything like that. It certainly doesn't have to be negative, but I find that I learn from other people's, from seeing somebody counsel someone else. Because a lot of times those things are applicable to me, or things are shared in a way that in which I didn't see them before. And even aha moments, like if I'm feeling stuck and I see somebody else share their story, I can be like, oh my gosh, like, that feeling where it like hits you like a ton of bricks, and you're like, duh, like light bulb moment, this is what I need to do. And so we thought it would be great to invite somebody on with us once a month to share their story, and to help or counsel if they're having issues, because not only to help us, but to help others as well. And so I'm just grateful that Amanda graciously accepted our invitation. And I think when we talked about this, I think all of us in our mind were like, we want Amanda to be our first guest. Like each of us was thinking Amanda, Amanda, Amanda. And then someone said it, and we're like, yes. And so, um, thank you, Amanda, for being here and agreeing to do this with us.
Does that mean you all think I have issues?
It has it has nothing to do with having issues. It has to do with the fact that you have gone through challenges and you inspire us by the way that you implement, the way that you act, and and how open you are. And I think that that is inspirational to others because, Amanda, I have just as many issues, if not more, than you do.
Oh,
So
I know.
I think I think what's inspirational is your openness and your willingness to try different things to create change in your life. And a lot of people struggle with that. They don't know what to do, and they don't know that they should try just different things because some things may require one small tweak and then everything is fixed. And so I'm hoping that people will be encouraged by your action because I've seen you do that and I know that it works.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, Linda,
Yes.
I wanted to call on you first to share some story or share something that has inspired you over the last month or few weeks or whatever.
Well, I'm so glad you didn't say in the last day because that would be harder. But I wanted to let everybody know that every once in a while I'll be looking down, and that's because I'm taking notes. So as Amanda speaks, as we speak, I am taking notes on this because it's really important for me to make sure that I get out of this what I'm hoping that I can put into it. And my story that I want to share with you guys is actually an inspiring story, and it's not about me. This story is about somebody else, and actually just thinking about it, you guys all know how sensitive I am, and just thinking about it makes me kind of tear up, and that's how inspirational this story is to me. I will never mention names of people when I tell stories, and if they're on the call, they'll know who they are, but otherwise nobody else will know who they are, just so you know. I met this woman about 4 years ago, and she was in a job and really enjoying her job, but it wasn't enough for her. But she was scared to reach out and to try something different. She had been on this job for a long period of time, about 5 years, and she kind of felt stuck there, like this is all she can do. This is her trade. This is what she knows. But she was never feeling free enough to reach out and to go for job interviews because she felt inadequate in what she was doing. So in the last couple of years, I've been speaking to her, and just encouraging her, because I know what skills she has to offer. And what was cool is one day she sent her resume out after 9 years of never sending out her resume. She didn't get the job, but what I was proud of her of that is that the fact that she actually sent her resume. Well, a month later, she decided to apply for another job, and not only did she get hired, but they offered her $20,000 a year more than she was making previously, and they gave her much more responsibilities than she's had. They saw in her what she wasn't seeing in herself and what I was seeing in her. The point of my story is that a lot of times we have people who we are inspired by or people that we inspire. We don't know what we're doing because we're living our own life every day. But sometimes it just takes that little bit of push to help somebody, encourage them to go further and make that step to make a difference in their lives. And I am so proud of her. After 9 years of being on this job, by the way, in 9 years, she received less than $1 an hour raise in 9 years. And now she's gotten a $20,000 raise from making that step and sending that resume. She was terrified, but she did it anyway. So that's my inspirational story. I'm just so excited for her.
I love that. Feel the fear and do it anyway.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Awesome, Lori. What do you think? What do you say?
First of all, I think that's so amazing, Linda. I love that story. It gives you hope. And that's where I began. I think that what I love about just being who I am, because I'm going to be who I am regardless of anybody or anything, and that's what I encourage everybody to do is don't worry about the people that like you or dislike you. You need to be who you are for you, because the number one thing that I know at the end of the day is you have to sleep with yourself. And when you look in the mirror, who do you see? What do you see? And I want to tell you a short little story about a gal that I met, and kind of going. Not many of you, or maybe some of you, know my story, and so going through what I've gone through allows me the opportunity to kind of feel and touch out certain women that I feel need a little bit of guidance. And that's just, I don't know if it's the mother hen in me or if it's that protective mode that I have towards human beings. Again, I have to say that it's mostly women because I am. And so the story goes is about 4 years ago, there was a young girl. She was probably 20, 22. I didn't know her, never met her, and we were at a networking event. It was the first one I ever attended, and it was in El Cajon, and she happened to come there. And this young woman had moved all the way from Boston because she was promised that she was going to be employed and get hired. So she sold everything she had, and she came from a disadvantaged child. She didn't have a lot of money. So she sold everything. She had everything that she had was in her car. She had a Honda, and it was like a 19, I don't know, 82 or something. It was an older Honda, and every possession that she owned in this whole wide world was in her vehicle. So she made the move. She drove all the way from Boston out here to California. She went to Sony, and she said, "Hey, I'm here." Um, Sony, and she had just enough money to stay here for 1 month. She had ready rented the room, and she went to the HR department, and she said, "Hey, I'm here. I'm looking forward to working." And Sony said, "Sorry, we don't need that position after all." And here she is with nowhere to go, nobody, she doesn't know anything. She goes and she attends this networking. She is young, she's in tears. And for some reason, I don't know, I just felt like she needed some hugs. And so I went up to her and I said, "What's going on?" And she told me the story. And I said, "You know what? You don't have to worry about a thing because I know that we take care of our own. You put it out there, it will help. God always takes care of his children." And so she went into the group. We enveloped her. My son, who is a headhunter, I send the resume to him, and 2 weeks later she got a job working, making more money than Sony, and she's still there to this day. And many of you probably know her. Names need not be mentioned, but that's my inspirational story for today. It's you never know where you go or who you meet that will make the most impression. So when you're out there, it doesn't matter. Try to give something of what you possess in your heart. That's it.
Very, very nice. It's just amazing. I think that when we are open to opportunities come. You hear a lot of people complain that nothing good happens or they have bad luck. I don't necessarily believe in luck. I think that people, when you decide to open yourself up to things, to different opportunities, and I can't imagine, I would probably be devastated and I wouldn't walk foot into a networking group. I think a lot of people would you know, not just think the worst. And that I just think that that's amazing to just take that step into that group and to be open to opportunities, meeting new people, and not really expecting anything out of it, but just open to whatever comes your way. And and it's not luck that you guys met. It's a product of her courage, the courage that it took to go out and to put herself back out there instead of letting it get her down. That courage and that action allowed her to be in a place where opportunities were thriving. So that's just an absolutely amazing story, Lori. Thank you for sharing it. Um, I have a lot of interesting that I talked about opportunities and luck just now, and I was just thinking about a time when I joined an affiliate program that probably many of you know, but it's not just an affiliate program. It has their leadership ranks, and they promote, and you get different levels of exposure as you grow in the company. And I joined about a year and a half ago, and we had an event, and I was just very new in the company, but they're promoting the event, and all I knew is I wanted to be on stage. Like, I wanted to walk across the stage to get an award or whatever. But I was new in the business. Like, I hadn't really done anything productive or anything like that. So I just started visualizing, and I had never visualized before, so I didn't even know if I was doing it right or anything like that. So I just, before I go to bed, I didn't know what the stage looked like, nothing. I would just imagine myself walking upstairs, walking across the stage, and walking downstairs. And so when it came time to go to the event, I hadn't hit the goal that I wanted to hit to be able to collect an award. But they did have another opportunity, which was to sell tickets to the event. So if you sold tickets, then you got into a contest. It wasn't a contest, but the top 25 ticket sellers got $100 each. So I knew I sold tickets. I didn't know how many or what, but whatever. Like, I was just sitting in the audience when they started calling names, and then, my goodness, I heard my name. So I didn't hit the goal that I wanted, but I did literally walk up the stairs, collect my $100, take a picture, and then walk down the stairs. Exactly like what I had been visualizing night after night manifested itself. And I don't know, I think it's woo-woo or kooky or whatever. I don't know how it works or why it works. But it's not a product of luck, is my point. Because I took action, even if that action started with visualization, those visualizations caused me to take action to do the things that I needed to do, even though I wasn't consciously doing them, to sell the tickets to be able to get the reward at the end, to make that manifestation happen. And so being willing to do things that are different or put yourself out there is a way to take action and produce results in your life. So, awesome stories, guys. I'm so grateful. It's amazing that we can share stories of other people, share our own stories, because really there's inspiration all around us, whether it's on TV or just on a daily walk. Like, there's always something. I don't know about you guys, but like, sometimes I'll be watching TV and I'm like, oh no, I have to rewind it and record it so that I can write a blog post about that later.
I do it all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, you do videos. Where do you get your inspiration for those?
Oh my goodness. I could be on the treadmill. I could be just driving along. I used to listen to the radio when I drove, and which I love music. I love music, but I used to listen to the radio, and one day I decided, you know what? I'm going to turn off the radio, and I'm going to listen to myself. which seemed kind of strange at the beginning. I was like, because there's a lot of chatter that goes on in here. You know, this mind, like, it's all over the place. But I found that once I stopped listening to the radio and I started actually looking at my surroundings, and as I was driving, I would see a billboard about whatever, or I would see some beautiful flower patches or something, and it would inspire me to think about something different than just listening to music. Also, another thing that's kind of weird, and I don't know if everybody does this or if I'm the lone soldier, but if I hear a phrase that somebody says that's a phrase that's something I heard in a song, I just start singing the song in my head. So probably in my head, about 50% of my day is music. It's kind of a really random thing, and I don't know what that has to do with inspiring anything, but it inspires me. It inspires me to just think, and that's part of my visualization, Malia, is because I am a musician. I do visualize, and I actually do play the songs in my head continually. And so I think that that helps me with my musical abilities to become better and better and better. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that, because I'm inspired. I'm a musician too, so I'm inspired by music as well, and so I use that for memorization. I'll put
Yep.
things to songs, you know.
Yeah.
But Lori, I know you're inspired a lot by the things around you as well, because when we get together, we're like, ideas fly. So how do you capture the inspiration around you? Like, what do you have tools, or like how do you capture that inspiration to be able to then do something with it?
Well, I think for me, it's not capturing, it's trying to stop. There's like all this chatter in my head, and it's like everything you ever wanted to do and never had the courage to do it. And it's like, and I have this saying, and some of you may agree or not, but it's me. So this is my saying, is that I am closer to death than I am life. And so I'm going to live every moment, every day, and every day I'm going to think of something that inspires or helps someone else to set them free, to know that they can be all they want. All they have to do is want it and breathe it. And so what inspires me, and you probably already know, is, I know this is going to sound kooky, but hey, you guys, music is the smell of horse manure. I'm sorry, but
I knew you were going to say horses.
Whatever floats your boat.
Being in my barn with the horses, OMG. I mean, I just come up with all this stuff, and what you don't know yet is that I haven't even started. What a lot of you don't know is I'm an artist, but I'm actually a sculptress. So I do commission pieces of horse art, and just having that visualization and inspiration, you need that. And that's something that I want to encourage everyone on this webinar to do, is to find your place, where or what inspires you to get the blood flowing in your head. And once it flows, it's like a volcano. It just erupts and you can't stop it. And so always have a pad next to you, because I mean, between Linda and Malia, oh my gosh, sometimes Malia has to say, Lori, we haven't started with this one. Don't start going on with the next. But I don't know. My cup is runneth over, people. So that's what it is. It's my animals, my zest for life.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking.
So now I'm going to bring the lovely Amanda into the mix. And Amanda, what kind of things inspire you? Like what?
Well, being outside, which is why I keep batting at flies, because I'm actually outside right now. I figured it was only appropriate for the inspiration station. But really being outside and outdoors, but mainly the beach is really inspirational to me. It grounds me, it makes me feel zen. I have a sense of being when I'm at the beach. Things kind of stop. I don't have all the to-do list running through my head. It just clears me. So really the beach is my ultimate zen zone. but nature will suffice as well, some trees or a hike or something like that. But I do get my most profound thoughts in the shower and driving, which are always fun. You're mid-shower and you're like, oh my gosh, I need to write this down, and you're jumping out to get a towel and just. So I always have a pen and paper, but it's always fun to try to hop out of the shower and write it down before it leaves your brain.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I get profound thoughts when I'm driving. Like I can.
The best.
Yeah, but one great tip is the lovely
voice to text.
Exactly. So
yes.
Cell phone, voice to text. In other parts of the world, they call it a dictaphone, I've learned. But
okay.
For us, just simple Americans, talk to text will do.
Yeah.
It's so amazing. And now it starts it looks like it types it out before you even say it. Like the iPhone knows what I'm thinking.
Right.
Ooh, that's good.
I know. So awesome. Now, you mentioned going to the beach to get grounded because, the to-do lists aren't running in your head and things like that. So do you ever feel like a sense of chaos or, like in your head or around you where, like, how do you know when it's time to go? Like to be by yourself,
There's always chaos. But I usually, I don't have I don't know. I guess when I feel like I'm at my verge and I'm about to lose my mind is really, but I do try to, if I'm in between clients, if I'm around, if I have some extra time, I do try to make the time to go do that, before I hit the I'm going to explode trigger. I do try to, incorporate it. I don't exactly have to go to the beach, but even just seeing the water. So sometimes maybe driving a different route just to, so I can drive by and see the water on the coast. And, it's just calming to me.
Yeah. Now, we've talked about incorporating me time regularly.
Yes.
Like, is that kind of why? Maybe to keep you, like, help you to stay at a constant? Or would, like, going out of your way be in addition to, like, the weekly me times?
It would probably be an addition.
In addition? So do you, Lori, do you guys incorporate, like me time, like, as a part of your lives or your businesses where, like, once a week you're going out to do something calming or grounding, like going to the beach or the park or anything like that?
Lori?
I live in Godland, so for me, just going outside and I get my thoughts and everything. I know it sounds silly, but mucking out those stalls, you are just there with nature and you're cleaning the stalls at the same time you're thinking. And for me, I know when my limit is because I get this feeling like I've reached my limit. I can't do nothing anymore. And then the computer goes down, the cell phone turns off, and I do have me time. I didn't used to, and it was like I felt like a hamster in that wheel. I kept going because, we all have goals that we need to do, and we all want different levels of success. And for me, I know that when I have a goal, I am ruthless. I zone in and I keep thinking about it. And so for me, I would work 7 days a week if I had to. And I had to stop because we all need balance in our life. And I don't have children that are young. My children are fur babies, but still, they don't require a lot. So what I decided to do was to shut down on the weekends. So weekends are, don't call me because I won't call you until Monday, unless it's really something that just floats my boat, like Inspiration Station, get together whenever. But
or if it's me.
You do. I'm sorry?
Or if it's me calling.
Oh
Oh, wait.
gosh.
If it's going to Rita's custard ice cream.
Oh my gosh. Let's not even go there, ladies. Okay. That's
I'll
horrible.
share with you guys, I am really bad at me time, and I'm so glad that I haven't addressed that with anybody yet because you guys haven't held me to it to doing it. But I found recently I've like really done a lot of soul searching, and I found for me that my me time really more is about being around people. So it's kind of a weird, like, it's not a being by myself me time. It's more like I love to be around people me time. So believe it or not, going to the networking events and meeting a lot of people, that is my me time. Doing band practice with the band members, that's my me time, and those are the times that I really do get inspired to think up new things. Or believe it or not, I love getting stuck in traffic because that's when I really kind of go into a zone of I used to be the person who was, oh my God, there's a traffic jam. There better be something wrong up there. You know, I used to just be so angry with life. And if I was running late, it wasn't my fault. It was always their fault, you know. And now I've come to the conclusion that it's not about that. It's more like if there's traffic, there's something going wrong. God, I hope somebody is okay. And it's just a lot of people on the road. And it gives me time to reflect about my life and to think about what I have going on and to just slow it down because I am constantly on the go. And then I've also realized that when I'm driving in a hurry because I'm running a little late and somebody cuts in front of me, I think that's a sign being sent to me, telling me to slow down. It's like a forced slowdown. And those are actually the times right now I use for my me time. They're probably not good enough right now, but I'm working on incorporating the me time into my life where I do actually take time aside to, go get a massage or, go get a mani-pedi. When I get my hair done, I was like, oh my God, I have to have 3 whole hours set aside to get my hair done, But I need to learn to take that time and say, that's 3 hours that I get to enjoy being with me and, my hairstylist and just having a different kind of bond with myself. So I'm working on that, and you guys can hold me accountable to that if you want.
We will.
They will.
That's really awesome because I think for each of us it's a little bit different, and so it's definitely cool to hear the different perspectives. I'm not sure that I think I do a lot of me time because I'm here by myself, but I work at home, and so I may take time out of the day just to watch TV, or just like I'll grab lunch with somebody or something like that. So I do that pretty regularly, and I have those moments where, like, you can tell, like Lori will say, you have that look in your eyes, you need to take some time. And so if I'm overextended or if I'm stressed or, things just aren't right, I have people in my life that are willing to tell me that, hey, you're off kilter, take some time, or, what's going on, because otherwise I'll keep going, and completely shut down. So you won't hear from me. I won't be on Facebook. I'll drop. You won't hear from me at all. And so, for me, I have to keep an even keel. Otherwise, I go into extremes of super high productivity and then nothing. And so, for my relationships and for my business and life, it becomes very, very important to take time out, several times a week, if not every day, just for myself. So, Amanda, definitely. We have a question from the lovely Mindy, and she wants to know, what was your key aha moment that helped you determine your why?
Ooh. Great question.
And by the way, while you think about that, I want everyone to know, like, if you have questions for us, the Q&A is open, so feel free to type a question into your into the Q&A, and we would love, love, love to answer any personal questions or address any issues, or if you have something you want to celebrate, share that with us, because Linda is all
Mm-hmm.
about fun.
Exactly.
Celebration.
And I'm all about that bass. So so use the Q&A. We see that, and that's how we'll interact with you.
By the way, Malia, thank you so much. You just put that song in my head, so I'll be singing that for the next 5 hours.
Me too.
So
Hey, Amanda.
talk to us about your why.
Who? Linda?
You.
Amanda.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, but I thought the question was directed to Linda.
This is Amanda. What was your key aha moment that helped you determine your why?
I have no clue. I don't know if there was a key moment to help me define my why. Other than my kids are, a big part of my why, and wanting to provide better for myself. I have this extremely high expectation of myself, and I feel like I always have. For some reason, I grew up with that expectation. I don't know if someone put it on me or I did it myself, but even at a young age, I just wanted to grow up quick, and I had this profound expectation for myself of being huge or running something massive, or all that kind of nature. So my why is really, my kids, providing more for them. It's always about providing more experiences, more love, more fun, more excitement. I had a really good childhood, thankfully. I know a lot of people are not as blessed to have a fabulous childhood, but I did. And, really making my children have one double of what I had. And just proving to myself, I always have something to prove to myself. So I think part of my why is really proving to myself that I am good enough, I can do it, and I don't know if there was a key defining moment for all that, though, but
I think that's awesome, because I think a lot of times we hear other people's whys and we think it should be something else. Other people sound awesome, but I love that yours is about proving to yourself that you can do it, that you are enough, because I think that is just as a motivating factor as providing for your kids, or wanting to provide for a better life. And I think that those all, encompass it. So that's awesome. And I think your why, just our why in general, is evolves, so
yeah.
it's not like set in stone. So for me personally, I have a challenging time with that question. I don't know about you, but it's like
I did,
yeah. So now, Amanda, do you have any challenges that you want to share or talk about? Don't feel
I have no challenge. No kidding.
So we only have about 10 or 15 minutes, and so
Right.
before we leave, I just wanted to give you the opportunity. If you have anything that you would like to share, then we want to make sure that we get that taken care of, so that you can go forth and be inspired.
I do. I kind of brainstormed some, and I think this will hit a lot of people. And it may just be a phase, and I know most of us go through it. But lately, my challenge has been myself. So getting out of my own way, letting go of what's not serving me, releasing guilt. I tend to have I've put a lot of guilt on myself, like I'm letting others down. So that's always, if I get an email and I need to respond and I don't respond right now, I feel guilt. If I didn't get to that meeting, I feel guilt. If I didn't cook dinner that night and it was fend for yourself leftover night, I feel guilt. So that's been a big issue for me, a really big challenge, because when you have all that going on in your head, it tends to, weave into all your other things, just your thought process and how you move forward. And the last couple of months of 2014 were really heavy laden with this, and it's slowly I'm pulling myself out, but still, I find a lot of that coming up. So that has really been a big challenge for me, as well as just the scheduling and planning. But I have implemented a new system for that, thanks to a wonderful woman, and I'm I'm really excited. So I guess that would be my challenge, just the getting in your own way.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that, because I know that is something, we wear so many different hats, and so I think that's probably a very common challenge. Linda, what is your advice?
Well, I totally understand what you mean about the guilt thing, because I lived with that for most of my life, and it's something we put on ourselves, I believe. And what I've been kind of practicing for myself to not feel guilty, and it's a continual process. It's not something I think that I'll probably ever fully get rid of. I'll work on it, and hopefully I will, but it still is a continuing process. And one thing I do is I try to look at the situation and say, is it really that bad that my kids ate leftovers? Is it really that bad? Should I feel guilty about that? What I was doing, was it something that will help my kids later in life? That's one meal you're talking about. Like, that's just an example. Guilt it's just a real, I think it's something that just stops us from progressing and from becoming better people. So it's learning how to turn those situations, turning them around, so that you look at the positive side of it. Just try to look at that. That's the only kind of advice I could really come up with on that. I get you.
Awesome. Lori, what do you say?
Amanda, I think that from what I feel is you had a really great role model as your mom. You grew up in a great environment, and when we're young and we're growing up, we see our mom handling everything, and you were very blessed to have that. And so sometimes we try to be just like our mom, but the times are different. It's not like before a lot of mothers didn't work, or you could trust babysitters. You have to remember, Amanda, that you have a lot on your plate. Your babysitting situation, I don't know, I think you handle that. You're a wife, you're a mom, you're older, you see things different. You're not a little girl looking at your mom's everything that she's done when you're a child. So you're looking through different sets of eyes. And I think that I took some notes down, and I think that when you saying that you just can't let go and you're a people pleaser, it's because it seems like it's an acceptance thing for me, is that you want everybody to like you. You don't want anybody to, I have to be here, I have to be there, and I want everyone to like me. Life isn't like that. There's going to be those that are in your circle, and those are the ones that matter. All the other little pawns and people that are there, they're just moving. They're movement. They're parts of a car. It takes everything to work that car, but sometimes those parts give out, and so you get replaced. So if those people are not being supportive and making you feel guilty, then you need to replace those parts with new people that are going to uplift you and get you toward your goals. And I also believe that some of that has to do with self-belief. Because if you love yourself beyond anything, Linda, you don't care if they like you or not. Take me as I am. And I mean it. So, you're an amazing woman, Amanda. You have much to offer. And I call it stinking thinking, baby. So you surround yourself with those that care, love, and you trust. Everyone else is just an apple on a tree. And when they fall, what happens?
Oh, well,
So,
I like it.
there you
Awesome. Thank you, Lori.
You're
I
welcome.
think with the examples that you gave, I think you should probably implement more systems. If it's dinners, I don't, so my day, I have cooking days. So I cook Tuesdays and Thursdays. My husband cooks Mondays and Wednesdays, and then the kids are not here on Friday, and weekends are leftovers. Sunday's a prep day for cooking. So that way, like, I'm not expected to cook every day, so I don't have that stress. And if you don't have help that way, then doing some meal prep where you can do like crock pot meals are really easy because you just throw those in the crock pot and you can freeze them, which I love. So on Sundays, we'll make like 7 crock pot meals, put them all in the freezer, and then all I have to do is take it out and put it in the crock pot. Then I don't feel guilty. Like, I don't feel guilty that I didn't cook. But also, not only that, if I don't cook, I'm okay with my kids eating cup of noodles for the night. That's okay. I don't feel criticized. Like, all the twig eating, sage burning hippies that are vegetarians can criticize me all they want. I don't care because they're not paying my bills, they're not running my business, they're not pleasing my husband, and they're not watching my kids. So I don't care what anyone says. Cup of noodles, here it is. As long as you're fed and you have a roof over your head, which is what I'm responsible for, then I am happy. So I don't feel guilt in that way. We both have younger kids. And with obligations, I have my goal, I have where I want to be and what I want to achieve. And things that don't serve that, they don't get put in my schedule. And I'm okay with that. Lori asked me yesterday, we're talking about our next project, and she said, I'm not, like, I don't get the feeling that you really want to be involved in this. And I'm grateful that she had the courage to say that to me. But then I told her, can you please tell me what you expect of me? And then I can let you know my level of involvement. Because I got to make sure that everything I do is in line with where I'm going. And when you set that expectation, when you tell people, I'd love to work with you, but I need to know what you're expecting, then that guilt goes away because you've made yourself a priority. It's not about us being friends. It's not about not wanting to help. It's not about me not being supportive. We're all here to serve a purpose, and we all have goals. And you have to work with people that understand that when things don't serve your purpose, then it's okay to say no. With emails and communications, a lot of times I'll get an email and I'll want to respond. When I respond right away, I'll say, I'm in the middle of a project. I will respond fully later on today. And then I write that in my list to do. So then I don't feel obligated. So what I'm saying is, if you create systems to respond to the things that are causing guilt in your life, once you implement those systems, that guilt will go away because you know that you have a system in place to handle that situation.
I like that. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thanks. So
You want to address, there's a question that somebody has for Lori.
yeah, I see that. But before I address that, I wanted to give people the opportunity, if you have some advice or something to add, put it in the Q&A and we'll make sure that Amanda gets that. And if it's here within the next 5 minutes, I will share it with everyone. But for now, Lori, the lovely Tammy Ryan asks, How do you juggle everything you do?
Can you tell that in 4 minutes?
She doesn't do that. Just kidding.
You know what I've learned? I mean, seriously, some of the things, I'm going to make this as quick as I can, Tammy. You know that we both live in the East County, so I live an hour either way. So I can go to El Centro, down to Poway, or Chula Vista. It's an hour. So I've already lost 2 hours for most people. So it's extremely important that I know exactly what I'm doing in my day. So I have everything that I'm going to do, and what's really helped me a lot is Malia has actually structured a calendar for me and said, okay, we need to do this, this for connections. For my core, which is my passion as well as being a financial advisor, is I know that I have to work on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And this is hypothetically, Tammy. So I know that those days I am not going to work with connections. I'm working just on those days with my Modern Woodmen clients and booking appointments, doing the paperwork, so that every single day there's something positive and structural that I am doing to walk towards my goals of what I'm trying to create. You know, not trying, but I'm doing it. Because I have a saying, Tammy, if you're going to talk the walk, then you best be walking the walk. So I hope that's helpful.
You have lots of sayings. Yeah, so to address that, I know. I have a few more years to get all the sayings that you have. So, Amanda, we have something to look forward to.
Yeah.
So yeah, something that both Lori and I practice is time chunking. So, like I know, like we do connections on Friday. That's our day where we're working on connections. For me, on Tuesdays I do all my website maintenance. So if a client says on Wednesday, I need you to add this to my site, it goes on to my calendar for the following Tuesday, because Tuesdays is when I do that. I build websites on usually the weekend. So I always deliver websites on Monday. I don't tell a client I'll deliver a website on Wednesday because I'm not working on the website on Monday or Tuesday. So I know for Lori and I, we both do this. Like, she works on Modern Women only on certain days. Time chunking really helps. And that's the same with answering your email. So you only answer email from, 4 to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Otherwise, you let all the emails come through. And you chunk your time that way, and it helps you to be more productive and able to do more stuff because you're completely focused on each task individually at hand. I don't care what anybody tells you about multitasking, it's probably the worst thing that you can do when you're trying to focus. So, anything to close out, Linda, that you'd like to share?
Yeah, I would like to share something that I've been doing in the last 2 years. And, Lori and Amanda, I met them 2 years ago, this month actually, or maybe it's a couple of weeks earlier. But something, they've seen a lot of change in me in the last 2 years, and I think they can attest to that. And a lot of that is because what I've been doing is I've been seeing myself through the eyes of others, because what I have seen as a weakness in myself, they've seen as strengths. And just taking that information and listen to the people who are talking to you and who are telling you great things about yourself, because they're right. They are right. And I'm learning that it's okay for me to see that I have, there's a lot of things I used to think bad about myself. I used to think I had a bad personality. I used to think I was dumb. I used to think just all kinds of bad things about myself. But especially in the last 2 years, I'm learning that those were just things that I was chattering in my head. They were totally wrong. These people are right. They see these great things in me, and I want to thank everybody who has told me things that are good about me, because it's really helped me to grow. And so I just want to share that with people out there, and hopefully you can take that on.
Awesome. Lori, in closing.
Just breathe, take a chance in yourself, and keep pushing and blessing those that come in your path, because you just never know what you say and the experiences you've gone through, what it can do for someone that's struggling or having a problem.
Thank you. Amanda?
A kind of like Lori. You never know who you're inspiring. I often I call it fan mail. I'll get Facebook messages or people I see at a networking meeting. They're like, oh my gosh, that one story or that post, or just watching you. I watch you all the time, and I love watching you. And I'm like, okay. But it's interesting to see that you have that impact on others. So I think sometimes, just sharing is really valuable. You never know who you're helping and at what point, because sometimes you're in a low place, but so are others, and they watch you pull out of it, and it gives them a hope. So I think that's kind of my closing thoughts. I don't know.
Yeah, very good. So you definitely don't know who you are inspiring. And to inspire others, you have to put yourself out there. So I want to challenge everyone that's here to put yourself out there. We meet again the third Thursday in February. Does anyone have a date on that?
Uh-oh.
Someone can look. But we meet again the third Thursday in February, and I want to challenge you between now and then to do something that's going to put yourself out there, because when you share your story, when you share your experiences, you share your challenges and you share your victories, you share your thoughts, and you share the things that inspire you, it impacts other people. So take the risk. Don't worry about what people are going to think about you. Just put yourself out there for the sole purpose of helping somebody else get through their day, of bringing a smile to somebody's face, and creating change in someone else's life. Stop thinking about yourself and think about others, because I guarantee you, when you put yourself out there, you will inspire somebody, and that will create amazing change in not only your life, but theirs as well. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining us for today's Inspiration Station TV. This is, just the energy, the love, the openness, everything, absolutely inspirational. I hope that you guys have enjoyed your time here. I know for me, my cup is full, and I'm so grateful to now have the opportunity to share the things that I learned here with others. So again, thank you so much. We will see you on
February 19th.
February 19th at noon for lunch. And until then, be inspired as well as inspire others. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.